Hello, viewers. Good afternoon, and welcome to yet another edition of Education Telescope on Leadership TV. I am your usual host, Mariam Rabiu, and here are the news updates for today. Parents demand reversal of 300% hike in school fees by Federal University Lokoja. Parents of students of Federal University Lokoja, Kogi State, have called for immediate removal of the Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Olayemi Akinwumi, over what they describe as arbitrary hike in the student school fees without recourse to the current economic situation in the country. The leader of the group, Moses Abraham, who made the call while addressing newsmen in Lokoja, said the increment, which is almost 300%, was orchestrated to deny parents and the masses the opportunity of acquiring university education for their children. Breaking down the hike in the student fees, Abraham explained that the remedial cost, which was 50,000 naira, is now 100,000 naira, while fees for new intakes that stood at 56,000 naira is now 188,000 naira. He added that the fees for the new intakes in arts and social sciences that was fixed for 55,000 naira was increased to 183,500 naira, just as returning students are expected to pay 113,000 as against 47,000 the previous fee. According to him, student accommodation per bed space is now 60,000 naira from 20,000 naira, while the GST handbook sold to students at 1,500 naira per copy was increased to 6,500 naira. The spokesman said the increment was too much for parents to bear and called on the federal government, through the Minister of Education, to prevail on the Vice Chancellor to reverse the hike in the fees before he collapses the only federal university in Kogi State. The Vice Chancellor is a civil servant, and we expect that he should be aware of the current economic doldrum the people are passing through recently. How can people pay their children's school fees with the current increment when sources of income remain stagnant? He lamented. Allow students to vote, close schools, NANS tells federal government. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has called on the federal government to direct the closure of tertiary institutions in the country to allow students conveniently collect their permanent voters card and subsequently participate in the February 25th elections. NANS stated this in a statement by its Vice President, External Affairs, Akintoye Hafiz, sent to the media on Sunday. It said, sequel to the extension of the deadline for the collection of the PVCs and considering the fact that the general election will commence in a few weeks, the federal government should immediately close all tertiary institutions temporarily to afford students the opportunity to collect their PVCs from their local government areas and vote in the forthcoming elections. In time past, the lack of flexibility of the Independent National Electoral Commission and the management of tertiary institutions have made it difficult and almost impossible for students to participate in the electoral process. The Apex student body thereby called on the federal government to mandate the National Universities Commission, the National Board for Technical Education, and the National Commission for Colleges of Education through the federal government of education election to allow the Nigerian students who constitute 40.8% of the newly registered voters across the 774 local government areas of Nigeria have access to their PVCs and vote for the candidates of their choice in fulfillment of their civic responsibility as patriotic citizens of Nigeria. And the next news says President Muhammadu Buhari appoints Dogara new NYSC DG. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Brigadier General Dogara Ahmed as the new Director General of the National Youth Service Corps. NYSC Director, Press and Public Relations Eddie Megwa confirmed this in an interview with Leadership yesterday. Jogara will be officially taking over on Monday from Christy Uba, who piloted the affairs of the NYSC for about 3 months. Uba, the most senior director, was appointed by the presidency following the sacking of Brigadier General Muhammad Fada over alleged incompetence and poor performance. On November 22, 2022, the NYSC announced the elevation of its Director, Information and Communications Technology, Christy Uba, as its acting Director General. She made history as the first woman to be appointed to NYSC since its establishment about 50 years ago. 13 first-class graduates of Plateau Varsity get automatic employment. 13 students who graduated with first-class honors from the Plateau State University, PLASU, BOCOS, have been offered automatic employment by the visitor to the university, Governor Simon Lalong, who also announced cash gifts to them. Lalong announced the student employment on Friday during the 6th and 7th combined convocation ceremony held at the institution's campus in Bokos, where three Nigerians, including Professor Ochapa Onazi, Professor Jonah Elaigu, and Dr. Dere Awosika, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of Access Bank Nigeria Limited, were conferred with honorary doctorate degrees. Speaking, Governor Lalong expressed delight at the growth of the university, encouraged the graduates to look beyond certificates and practically demonstrate the knowledge acquired as the state and nation, which are in dire need of solutions to various challenges, are looking up to them, and called on the management and academic staff of the university to also deepen their research and teaching into the critical challenges that are common to Plateau State and Nigeria. He assured of his support, saying, "It is the determination of this government to continue to deploy available resources for the development of both the physical infrastructure and manpower to promote effective teaching, learning, and research in the university." Chairman of the Governing Council, Francis Ike, said, among other things, that the university has gradually expanded and is making its way toward national and international recognition, adding, "We are determined to work with the government, the management, and the staff of the university to bring about quality scholarship in all ramifications." He called for the endowment of professional chairs in the various disciplines, stating these will be named after the donors who will undertake to pay the salaries of the professors. "We will immortalize those who endow infrastructures or facilities on campus by naming whatever they donate after them." University of Calabar VC orders investigation into 300 level students' death. The Vice-Chancellor of University of Calabar, Professor Florence Obi, has ordered investigation into the death of a 300-level student of the Department of Library Science and Information. The deceased, Ms. Precious Agini, died on Saturday, and her death sparked a protest by students at the university. According to an eyewitness who spoke on condition of anonymity, before her death, the deceased visited the school's medical center but was asked by a nurse to pay 200 naira to open a file before she could be treated. She said, "I was at the medical center this morning when it happened. What I can say is that the University of Calabar Medical Center is a glorified chemist's shop. Precious came in with a severe abdominal pain, but the staff at the medical center insisted she must pay 200 naira to open a file before anything could be done." The nonchalant attitude of the health workers in the medical center is becoming very unbecoming. This is not the first time we have lost a student to their inefficiency. Imagine the nurse saying the girl faked the pain to get attention. It was this same nurse that insisted on opening a file. Last year, a PhD student died due to a complication of appendicitis that was mismanaged in the same medical center. Meanwhile, the VC, through the registrar of the university, Mr. Gabriel Egbe, has assured a statement directing the medical board of the institution to urgently conduct a thorough investigation into the circumstances leading to the death of Agini. The university said in a statement, "The medical board is to investigate the circumstances surrounding the deceased admission at the University Medical Center to determine if the death could have been prevented and examine the roles played by the individual staff of the medical center in managing the patient." The next story says, "I don't have social media accounts," says Oloyede. The Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, has distanced himself from friend requests being sent from social media accounts, purportedly from him, saying he does not own or operate any social media accounts. Oloyede disclosed this in a statement by the board's head public affairs and protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin. The statement read, the attention of the board has been drawn to a LinkedIn account purported to be the account of the Registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, and the sending friend requests to members of the public. This is a ploy initiated with the sole aim of defrauding gullible members of the public. The board wishes to state that Professor Ishaq Oloyede does not own or operate any social media accounts, and neither has he asked any to open or manage on his behalf. This disclaimer became necessary in view of some unscrupulous elements who have purposely opened a LinkedIn account on his behalf to hoodwink unsuspecting members of the public with their bogus claims of the erudite professor helping to network business enterprises, managing careers, providing jobs, running a research firm, or connecting people with business contacts of firms or industry through the account. NLC appeals to Buhari to pay salaries of university workers. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari to direct payment of all withheld salaries of the university workers in the country. Mr. Ayuba Wappa, the NLC president, made the appeal in a resolution reached at the end of the National Administrative Council of the Progress in Abuja. It could be recalled that due to no work, no pay policy of the federal government, the salaries of the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASUU) and others were withheld for the period they were on strike. They urged President Muhammadu Buhari as a mark of goodwill to direct the payment of all withheld salaries of university workers. The affected university workers are finding it difficult to cope with the prevailing economic challenges in the country, Wabba said. He also said that the review was imperative given the considerably weakened value of the naira against all the currencies of the world. He noted that this has made the cost of living unreasonably difficult for workers and ordinary Nigerians. Mr. Wabba further said the Congress also expressed huge concern and palpable alarm on the increasing incidences of citizens' difficulties and insufferable stress in accessing basic services and utilities. And the next story says colleges of education would have suffered without TED fund. The Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union has described the Tertiary Education Trust Fund (TET Fund) as the life wire of colleges and other public tertiary institutions in the country. President of KOASU, Dr. Smart Olugbeko, in a statement on Sunday in Abuja, particularly noted that public colleges would have suffered terribly without the intervention of TET Fund. He said, TET Fund has remained the only succor for unbridled development in our public tertiary institutions, providing strategic infrastructure, robust staff development, and unprecedented culture of research. Olugbeko, while stressing that TET Fund and its current management deserve accolades and not defamation, said the union received the news with great dismay and concern that certain individuals and groups are plotting to disrupt the activities of TET Fund and malign its leadership. CDEL unveils dictionary for modern words in native language. The Center for Digitization of Indigenous Languages (CDEL) has unveiled a dictionary that translates modern words into native languages. CDEL is a social impact company that leverages artificial intelligence to digitize local languages and localize digital access. Speaking at the launch, the co-founder of CDEL, Mr. Soji Akinlabi, said that most of the new words related to technology, science, business, healthcare, words like drone, robotics, climate change, sanitizers, sustainable development goals, and influencers, among others, are only available in English. Even though 80 million Nigerians cannot speak English fluently, how can we adequately pass information to everyone if we cannot fully express ourselves in our native languages? Our native dictionaries do not contain many new words that have come into existence due to social and technological changes. For these reasons, he said that CDAL created the dictionary in a bid to ensure digitization, since most dictionaries in the native language are not up to date. CDAL created an extended dictionary to stay current on these language changes. Humans often require compelling, super credible, and pressing reasons to avoid new ideas. And the last news for today is UNIMED matriculates 465 students, 15 foreign students. The University of Medical Sciences, UNIMED, Ondo City, Ondo State, has matriculated 480 students, including foreign students. Speaking at the ceremony held at Odo Sida campus of the university, as the Vice Chancellor, Professor Adesegun Fatusi, said that 15 foreign students displaced because of the ongoing crisis in Ukraine were among the new intakes. Professor Fatusi said the vision of the university is to produce experts in all fields of medicine and health sciences who can effectively tackle the numerous health challenges in the society. He added that more emphasis should be placed on science rather than medicine or nursing. Being a medical doctor or a nurse does not mean that you have the greatest opportunity. Those with the greatest opportunities are the scientists, because they are the ones who proffer solutions to change challenges in the world. The Vice Chancellor treated the audience as he announced the date for the convocation ceremony of the new intakes, affirming that one of the advantages of studying at UNIMED Ondo is a stable academic calendar. He said that the academic calendar of this university has never been disrupted even when all other institutions were locked down due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We were among the very few that continued academic activities despite all odds. He reiterated that UNIMED has zero tolerance for any form of harassment and malpractices, admonishing them to be good ambassadors of the university by obeying laid down rules and regulations. And that is all on today's edition of Education Telescope on Leadership TV. I am your host, Mariam Rabiu. Thank you for watching. See you next week, same time. Bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.